he is hungry.
Well, that's just how he eats. One bite of it.
Yeah, it didn't hurt. I made up for it with that one, a right quality one that was.
Save some of the beef out for the other ones. Yeah, they're not a real good predator.
What have you got in this beef heart? Nothing.
No, nothing in particular.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bit of gelatin in there.
Sure. Yes, you've got it. Carefully to hold this, you can't see it.
Oh, for food? Yep.
He's a pig for a small move, isn't he?
He knows how to put away plenty of food.
good?
We didn't see it.
Right.
We didn't see it either.
Okay, well the pilot said to me there was a small one there.
Yeah, I saw it a bit there.
Okay, but it might not be.
It looked,
it might not be
either here, here or here. Sitting on our bit there.
I was looking at that big rock up top there.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Okay, these are fairy shrimp found on our little excursion along the creek starting from Jumbuck Springs, and these little chaps, I was sort of surprised, but I'm not. If that sounds a bit strange to find them, especially in a creek area. They're approximately perhaps a third of their normal size, or size that I've seen them grow to a maximum. These guys are doing it pretty hard actually, because they seem to be dying off a bit in this pond, so there weren't a lot of food for them. That's basically about it. Oh, they are found around the Adelaide area, but I don't think they've been found up to now in this area.
My kind of road. Oh! This is
Myers Road, not that wimp's ass stuff into Hamilton. Right.
Yeah, just hit hard left here. Got it. Great.
I am avoiding the edges. I think I like these tires, KJ. I think I'm balls.
They seem to be alright so far. I don't know what this is going to turn out like.
Yeah, I reckon you need a V8, so...
Yeah, it's something I realized after I disappeared from you guys that I should have told you. Was, well, it doesn't matter if
Well,
I'll get myself out.
That's what I said to him, and he felt a lot better. He said, "Oh, you shouldn't have split." I said, "Well, there was a sec. It's got me stumped how he didn't see us the first time.
Yeah.
He came right over.
Yeah.
Well, the first time he came over me, he was a ways off, reasonably still in the air. And I was waving and carrying on, and he came right over me like Zumba.
Yeah.
I'm going, "Oh yeah, pinch your face, oh yeah, I'm done good, man." And I was like, whoosh, he's gone.
He's
I'm
gone.
going,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
We went very March Street with it, and there was no really large.
Trev, I suppose you'll get more, but I'd like to film a couple close up in the net. Yeah, that's all right.
Well, we're in Balconina Gorge. We've been walking now for over an hour and a half, and we've come across a very big pool here at the moment, fed by a couple of waterfalls. So the oxygen level is going to be quite high here. Jason, the vegetation is like.
Yes, we don't seem to have too much algal growth in this particular pool, which is a good sign. It's very deep, it's nearly 3 metres deep. It's obviously going to be permanent water, which is a very good sign for the fish, and it's given us confidence that we're going to have a very stable population without much danger of the drought affecting it.
Netting below the reefs here, we picked up juveniles, probably 10 millimetres to 15 to 20. Ross, the difference in size there, what would you attribute that to?
Just possibly spawning has been perhaps a month apart, somewhere around about here.
So they're probably from the same season.
Yeah, the month so.
Ross, would you expect to find adults here, or is it just a bit
Most definitely, yeah, but the adults do down the mountains. Especially after finally tried, it looks to be no way that guys could move their way down to successful. I dare say they possibly could, but I doubt it. I'd more expect to have a big colony down in that pool there.
Perhaps we could try a bit more sampling now and actually give us a few adults. Be worth a try.
All right.
Who's got the pencil to...
I have.
I'll mark his length on this piece of paper.
In ratio, any idea of how many males, how many females?
Oh, a bit hard to tell. Roll the big guy over, the big guy.
He's obviously a male, this big fella here, and hang on, we're in the shade there. This one here could be too, couldn't it, Ross? It's very buffy, but the others have got that streamlined head.
Very large head on there.
Yeah, so there's probably those two are males. Oh, that's just absolutely brilliant, that one. It's anything like it.
Any sign of disease?
No, they look really healthy. No fin rot. No signs of the discoloration we've seen here a few years ago.
Scientific team has been travelling across the breadth of the state, discovering new species of fish, including, strange as it may seem, some in the desert that weigh more than 5 kilos. And according to the department, there is even an international black market for some of their discoveries. John O'Neill reports.
Brian Pearce is going inland in search of something most of us more readily associate with the ocean: fish. He's combing South Australia's creeks and waterways for the Department of Fisheries, doing a stock take.
Say in agriculture, you'd be interested in what different strains of wheat you had. We need to know what discrete groups of fish we've got in order to manage them effectively. So in a lot of ways, we're just out there for the first time cataloging exactly what we've got.
This is a creek close to Waterfall Gully in the Adelaide Hills.
That's a dragonfly larvae, called mud-eye over this way. One of the great fish predators around until the fish are big enough to use them for protein. They're actually an astounding unit. Yeah, as we heard, classic example. People don't believe there's actually fish in a lot of our waters, but something like that. Hardly tell there's anything in there, and yet when you lift it up and you force the fish out of their natural habitat, you find you actually got 2 fish left in the bottom. But then, basically, their lives depend on being secretive.
Brian says his research has proven that native fish species are under attack.
In terms of habitat, looking around, you see all the green and you think that for South Australia this is a pretty remarkably nice place. But when you get down to the reality of it all, about the only thing that's left here that's native is the old red gum. Everything else, from the willows to the vegetation to everything you can see, is an introduced weed from overseas, down to the vegetation in the creek. And unfortunately, it's a problem we have with fish too, is you get things like carp and mosquito fish dropped into a system, and they stuff it up.
And Brian's work has taken him even further inland.
There's some truly remarkable fish in the desert, from little tiny gobies, which have lived there for millions of years and in water that a lot of people would actually miss, to fish which actually live in permanent water holes in the desert, and when you get a flash flood that covers the surface, they're actually out moving through that. We've had some incredible reports, and we're actually studying that in order to manage places like the Cooper Creek system more effectively, to understand that whole dispersal pattern and the mosaic of extinction processes that are happening up there.
But at the moment, Brian's concentrating on cataloguing fish in 9 areas of the Flinders Ranges. His team from the Department of Fisheries took this amateur video on a recent trip to the region. Brian says he found pollution from feral animals has been causing algae to grow, which kills off the fish. And this, he says, can have serious consequences.
Little fish like gambusia, mosquito fish, may be that long, introduced into our River Murray. The evidence we have is that under control conditions, it can take out half of your production of, say, scallop in a given year. That's pretty massive. Now, a lot of the smaller fish are also important in, say, the aquarium trade. People don't realize fish here that haven't even been described as a species are being illegally caught, shipped off to North America and Europe, and sold for as much as $250 a piece. So There's a lot of potential, they have a lot of value, and we're just beginning to understand them. Who knows what values we'll discover in the future?
Well, Brian, to many people, it seems like a pretty obscure sort of obsession. How did you get this professional obsession with fish?
I've been addicted to chasing fish since I was 7, and basically I've tried my hand at a lot of other professions, but when you're an addict, you're an addict. I couldn't stay away from it if there's just no way I could stop.
Well, what is it about fish that's so addictive?
Well, wet and slimy probably isn't it, but they're just so unique in that there's over 20,000 species. To me, the freshwater ones have probably some of the highest extinction potential around because they're in such a controlled habitat. And I can do something about that, particularly in South Australia, where people, once you show them what's happening, care, you can change the world. And for me, that's an incredibly powerful thing.
Can understand that.
Where the hell are we supposed to actually go then?